Good evening, Focus family. Good evening, good evening, good evening. Wake up, wake up, wake up. Come on in. Made it to Friday night. I'm holding on. So was this ponytail. It's got one more day. And the Lord has blessed me. Come on, because you ain't getting what you got last night. I need to know what work y'all have done. Come and report to duty. Focus first. Come on in. Come on in. I see Evangelist Gwen was the first to check in today. She checked in about 5 something. Thank you, Evangelist Gwen. And I love the statement that she made. I'm finishing what I started. And I got the best seat in the house. So we're going to work with that. And we thank you, Carla Townsend, who came in right behind her. Come on, while you're coming in and getting your best seats in the house. And I think I saw Elisa right after that. But my screen doesn't want to move now. Now it's moving, yes. And Elisa Waters, thank you again for stepping in for me that day. Thank you, Cam. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Come on in, y'all. Work with my ponytail tonight. Please work with it tonight. This is the last. I got so many compliments from y'all about my little other ponytail. That's the I'm too sick to do my hair ponytail, and all y'all liked it. All of my millennials was texting me, oh, Apostle, oh, Apostle. I'm like, oh my God. Even my sons in the ministry was texting, go, Ma. And then one of the younger, what is it that came after the millennials? Brother Marcus is the one I'm talking to, and he had the nerve to send me a screenshot. Go, Apostle. Like, his crazy ministry that the Lord has called me to. Thank you, Crystal. Started out the sewing tonight. Super $4.99. Thank you. But today, you can tell I feel a little bit better. I washed it and I dried it, and now we getting there. We getting there. So tomorrow, maybe I'll be beautiful all over again. Come on in. Come on in. Let's have a talk. Let's have a talk. We've got some business to transact together. And I am excited about it. I am excited about it. I'm getting reports that people are getting their orders in. Thank you for letting me know. And I'm hearing that the fabric, the material is very good. So I'm very blessed to hear about that. That was one of my most concerns when I didn't get a chance to, go through the vetting process like you should. I didn't have that time. Thank you, Lisa Palmer. Thank you, Cam. Best seat in the house. Go ahead, Quanisha. I saw you earlier too. You said hello, Focus family. So hello, sweetheart, to you too. Charlene, welcome. Good to see you in tonight. She's our Focus family. Come on in. Beautiful. Thank you. I do want to make mention of this. We may have to mention it again because we're only at 66 right now. So people are going to probably come in late thinking they're going to miss all the introductions and stuff and slide in past all of the politics and business that has to happen before the teaching starts. But the original setup, there were a few people that jumped on and was purchasing before I even had a chance to announce we had a new company. So the thinking hadn't finished of my website to their website. So when those orders came through, they weren't synced. And new orders were coming in and they were going into the process of fulfillment. They went from draft to fulfillment to processing to fulfilled and then shipping with a shipping number. And I saw that those original orders were sitting there. So I forced them through because they give you an option to push orders through. I forced the orders through, and somehow because of the syncing, the orders have been duplicated. So there's 3 or 4 of you. You were the first 3 or 4 to order. You're probably going to get a second order. If you do, please just go ahead and let me know. And some of the order isn't right, or something's not in it. That's how you know it's not the correct order. Matter of fact, I got 3 people today that have already checked in with me. So if you do have that issue, please contact Ebony and I so that we can confirm for you that your correct order is coming out. It's just the first 3 or 4, and I already spoke to 3 of them today. So I think it's 1 more. It might be you, Brittany. It might be you or Pastor Lydia. Just check your order when you get it and let me know if it comes in twice or if it's The second order is, the first order seems a little off from what you ordered. The first order is probably the wrong one. Okay, thank you for your patience. There's no problem after that. Everyone who has ordered after that syncing had taken place, the order's already shipped. They got their tracking numbers and they're already open some today and they're fine. So that was just a little glitch that we had to work through, but it's so worth it because it just took so much of this process off of me so that I can do what I do. I want to tell you about a movie that I started watching last night. And I don't want to say the name only because I don't want to promote the movie. I don't even want to encourage anyone to watch it. It's very sexually graphic and sodomy. Okay. So I don't really want to push it. I know we grown adults, but in this movie, he's a fashion designer. I'll say it like that. And in this movie, Own Your Focus is all in it. All in this movie. His life, his breakdown. He's an amazing fashion designer. He's coming up against Oscar de la Renta, Bill Blas. Trying to think of the other ones that was there. But all the high-end fashion designers. And he's having these emotional breakdown over his childhood when his father used to beat on his mother and he'd be terrified for his mother. So he became a people pleaser. So he would fix these beautiful hats for his mom to make her smile and feel better for what she was going through with his dad. And so he learned people pleasing. And while he was going through that traumatic experience, something came out of it. He ended up going into fashion design. And then when his father left, they show him standing outside watching his father leave, and it just crushed him. And that just made him, no matter how, what is the words? There's so many words. No matter how gifted or talented or rich or masculine or feminine or intellectual or educated you are, these things from our past will continue to rob our internal attention and continually steal our focus. Now, he had a really, really good focus, but there was moments throughout the movie that was total breakdown. And he actually was saying things, this actor was actually saying things in the movie that are pretty much in the book. I was blown away. I said, I wish it wasn't so graphically, sexually, that I could tell this movie so you could just see it. It's almost like the book came to life, but in a different genre or community than I expected. But that's because we're all human, right? So it should apply to all different aspects and desires of our humanity. But it was really good. I'm going to go back and finish watching it tonight, hopefully. But did I talk you in here? Well, we're still kind of low, but it is Friday night. I know no one's out hanging out because it's not winter here. It's Antarctica. Have y'all been outside? It is Antarctica. You go outside, you can't even make it to the door. Don't even waste your time. If you don't have to go out, don't go out. It is brutal. So we should be in here doing our work because when the nice weather comes and you want to be out looking good, you also want to be out feeling good. So you should be in here doing your work. So let's do a check-in. How is your water intake? At least, are you starting out your day with the first thing in your stomach being water? Are you getting to that place? Yes, I see Ebony. Good. Are you getting to that place where you understanding that the kidneys and the liver has to be washed out? And the best thing to do in the morning is to already have it on your nightstand if you can, and just take it while you go into the restroom. Just get that water in, that hydration. I'm seeing yes on the screen. Yes, awesome. At least start there. Then every hour, try to sip 8 ounces. And I'm talking to myself too. Every hour. I realized that if we did it every hour, we wouldn't have to have these big gulps and just sitting there like, for me, because I don't like water at all. But when I looked at the count and the breakdown, I realized that if I did 8 ounces every hour, or 8 to 10 ounces or 12 ounces, whatever that we can build up to, you will actually be doing the perfect hydration by taking in water as a fluid every hour throughout the day. It's perfect. So I really, 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 really want to push this and have someone that just makes me feel so sparkly and special by the end of these 30 days that are telling me that I'm doing the water intake and I'm sticking with it. You know, I didn't say you couldn't have your Kool-Aid or your teas or your sodas or whatever. I didn't say that. That was not part of it. It needs to be, because part of what I should be able to ask you, especially at chapter 11 in the book, I should be able to ask you now, do you feel a different focus internally because you're drinking water first thing in the morning? Your body is more hydrated, so you don't have as much of a foggy brain. If you're drinking water throughout the day, then your brain should be less foggy and you should have a mental clarity. And I don't know, maybe I am. Is there anyone in here that can say I feel a mental clarity by detoxing this sugar? Because focus is what I'm doing psychologically with us all. But there is so also a focus that is coming, that is being taken from us from the foods we're eating. So I really want to hear some testimonies on those who are able to say, I feel the difference since I've decreased my sugar intake, since I've started drinking more water then, or since I started drinking the water as soon as I wake up in the morning. This virus bug thing, whatever I have, it had me so thirsty this morning. Oh my God, I drink everything in sight. I drank a thing of water and I just took it down, didn't even taste it. That's how thirsty I was. And after that, I took a thing of apple juice down and there wasn't any more of that. Then I took a thing of orange juice down. I probably took 24 ounces down in a few minutes, just dehydrated. Kamisha said she feels the difference. Leah says a big mental clarity. Jess, very good. Thank y'all for being honest. That's good. It helps. It really, really helps. So the mental clarity, the digital detox, the clutter detox, and the attention grabbing things detox. That's what we're working on. So we're really, really, really working hard in 30 days. I've been drinking 2 bottles a day. I never used to drink water like that. Thank you, Lydia Cordova. Come on, Evan, we got to give her a clap. She gets praise. Yep, she gets praise because you sound like me. You're not a water drinker. So come on, pushing it, pushing it. I'm getting over it. So thirsty. Yep, it's your body going through it for sure, for sure. And let's see. We are almost at chapter 12. So tomorrow we will, I believe, if the Lord leaves me alone tonight and just lets me teach under the unction of wisdom, and doesn't bring me into what he brought us into last night, which we are open to the Lord's plans always. He's anointed this plan, but sometimes he likes to interject and just let us know who's king here. We will be at chapter 12 tomorrow. And if we are at chapter 12 tomorrow, guess what? We have hit the pivotal place, which is truly the halfway mark in the book. It is the halfway mark to do our progress reports. Remember when we started? I think it was day 2. I said, we're going to start chapter 12 today and day 2. And we're going to go ahead and get a start on our water, get a start on our decluttering, so that when we get to chapter 2, that will be a progress report. And then when we get to the end of the 30 days, that will be our final grade, our final report card. So let's do a clutter check-in. How are we doing? How are we doing? I did a bang-up job on Monday, and then I got sick. So I'm happy with my room being turned around in the direction that I've wanted it since I moved in here. But now I've got to get down to the little thing. Oh, no, I forgot. On Wednesday, I had scheduled back in December or November a pickup. There's a company for the Boys and Girls Club, and they come out and they pick up things. And I had, even though I was sick, I dragged this stuff downstairs, put it in bags, and I gave them probably about 6 bags of clothes. Yeah, I got to do a psychological teaching on clothes. 6 bags of clothes. So even though this was not my strongest week, I got my room changed around. I got those bags taken out to Heart Springs, is what they call it out here in the area that I live in. And then the other clothes that I wanted to bless someone with who I know will wear them and can fit them, I have that bag picked up to be dropped off to her this weekend too. And I think my giveaway stuff might be done, and then it's stuff that I want to throw out. I like throws. Does anybody like throws? Yes, you too, Ebony. I love throws. And I think I buy a new throw almost every month. I have so many throws. So I was a really, really, really big girl. I parted with about 4 throws this week. And I folded them up nicely. You know, they were washed. I put the little uh, smelling sheet in there for the dryer and closed it up really nice in the bag. And I was just praying whoever gets them will be blessed and their life would be changed. And I folded those throws up and put them in there. And it was so hard for me to do because I love throws. I'm always, every room in my house, I have a throw. Probably like we used to think old ladies did, but I love them. I absolutely love them. They're so comfortable. Thank you, Lily. Great job. So yeah, I almost was going to put myself out of the race this week and say man down, but nope, I didn't. I was not as successful as I started out since this bug came, but I actually did get a lot done. So hopefully the room will be painted this month, and then I will have a final pick for the end of the 30 days and my final grade. How are we doing with our final grade? Got one now. You should. Absolutely. Declutter my nightstand. So did I, Caritha. Lisa Palmer said she loves them too. I love them too, Pastor Lydia. They are comfy. And they just, especially those, they call them the cable neck sweater kind. Oh my God. I had a nice black one. I had a tan one. Just lovely. And then everywhere I go, I buy one. So welcome, 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 welcome. Pastor Dolores tackled her bookshelves. That's big. That is probably where you're going to see a problem with me. So if you tackled your books, and I know you love yours as much as I do, then I know you are really, really doing this program. So welcome to night, what? Where are we? 15? Welcome to night 15, Soul Detox 2026. I am your host, Apostle Dr. Suzanne Howard, and our focus theme for this season is focus. And not just focusing, owning your focus. Own your focus, period, as the kids say. So let's take a look yonder here at chapter 11 and see if we can get through this powerful chapter. Am I right, Ebony? It's 11, right? At this powerful chapter 11. And let's find out how our mind can really obey if it has a leader. So let's go with it. Cognitive filtering. We are on page 113. Training your brain to discern what matters. Not everything deserves entry into the gates of your mind. Where's my gatekeepers? The ones that came up gatekeeper in the apostles' house. Listen to this in a spiritual context. Let me do it this way. Listen to this in a soul detox context, and then parallel it into a spiritual context and also the temple, the apostles' house context. Listen to it. And it should be a synonymous word for all three of the gatekeeper's assignment. Listen to this. Not everything deserves entry into the gates of your mind. Your attention has value, and anything of value must be filtered. Your brain receives thousands of signals per minute. It has internal thoughts, external thoughts, emotions, memories, notifications, requests, expectations, fears, even imaginations. Not all of them are worthy of your participation, though. Without a cognitive filter, everything feels urgent. Does anyone know anything about that right there? Chapter 11 is powerful. Does anyone know anything about that one? When everything just flows through your mind, everything feels like emergency. Ebony and I were talking the other night how we can't stand those red notifications on our phone. If we see them, we've got to handle it. Everything is an emergency now. Even if it's just, it needs to be deleted to the trash. It doesn't need to be an urgency, but everything becomes an urgency because we don't have the proper filters set up. Everything feels important. Everything feels like you must respond. A life without filters becomes a life governed by noise. Whew, and sometimes you literally feel like it's noisy in here. It's noisy out here? No, it's noisy in here. It's noisy because there's no filters. Our minds needs a border. Kind of talked about this a little bit last night. We didn't get to the actual book, but we talked about it last night, how our mind needs a border. It needs a border. Before I turn the page, does anybody remember why a border is necessary? Why do countries and kingdoms, why does God want us to have borders? What are borders protecting? It's protecting what's inside, right? The people, the community, the culture. I'm giving you some hints. Why are borders important? What is it protecting? Come on, dig a little deeper. Our identity. Our identity. We have to protect, borders protect the identity. That's one of the reasons that the president of the United States is really fussing for this wall. One of the reasons, I know he has his other reasons, but one of the reasons is because of the infiltration. There has to be a vetting, there has to be a naturalization, and people need to migrate legally to become immigrants of the country, to become American, not for America to become them. The church needs its borders so that those coming in, and they're going to bring their gods, they're going to bring the culture of their nations, they're going to bring their traditions, they're going to bring their beliefs. But when you make up your mind to join a nation, a country, or a kingdom, you are not coming to bring in and keep. You're coming in because this offers a better life. That's why you're coming in. And if it's not offering a better life, then I don't know why you would come in. You're coming in to be an immigrant of that place. You migrated a long way to get here to become a part of that place. It doesn't mean that you throw away your cultures and your customs, that you can't have your family meals and all the things that's what makes us beautiful, the way God created us. But when you come into a kingdom, a country, a culture, a church, you don't come in to change it. You come in to be a part of it. Christ left an identity for his people. If my people, which are called by my name, he said, if you love me, feed my sheep. Throughout the Bible, he reminded them that if you love me, you will obey my commands. If you love me, you will obey my commands. So if you love me, feed my sheep. If you're my people, which are called by my name, there's an identity to the kingdom. And we are supposed to have a high standard in our countries and in our continents and in our cultures and in the kingdom of God, that people want to join because something good is happening over there. And I want to be a part of that, not to escape what I'm in and to come here and to bring lawlessness and to bring problems and all the other things that goes on across this globe. This is why the church is in trouble. It started wanting members instead of disciples. So when you take members in, people are migrating to the church, people are migrating to the kingdom, but they're not becoming immigrated into the system. They're not being transformed. They're not going through the immigration process. They're coming in. When the Catholic Church visited Haiti, the Catholic Church went over there and they allowed them to keep their gods. Add your gods to our God, and we're going to build a temple. And this is why when you go to a lot of the Catholic churches, please, I don't mean to offend you. I speak truth. When you go to a lot of them and you go to Haiti or some other country, for example, I could name a few, but that's not what this is about. So I'm not going to give you a historical context. But they pray to so many different gods, even people who come in the name of Christ or Mary, because they can keep their gods. They didn't ask them to give anything up. So the identity of the church has become washed and skewed, and people don't know what's acceptable and what's not. They don't know if somebody's being judged wrongly or not because we don't know our identity. And if we knew who we were as God's people, called by his name, we would raise the standard. This is the standard. Let's just say that in Christendom, every woman had to wear skirts. This is the standard. Come in, put on your skirt, or go to another country, go to another kingdom. So people would come in and put on a skirt. They wouldn't give you a hard time because you're migrating to a place to become an immigrant of it, to be naturalized, to become a citizen of that kingdom or that country. And you follow the ways of that country because that is the identity of the place that you believe is offering you and your family and your legacy, your future, a better way. Okay, some of y'all are still with me. You don't come in to change a thing. You come in to change a thing. The thing that needs to be changed is you. So your brain is a country. Your thoughts are visitors. I want you to write it out or draw it. For those that are artists or that can see it, I want you to draw something. Draw like just a little sketch of a country. And then write for that country, my brain. And then sketch on there these visitors coming to this country and write on a couple of the little stick people that you might draw thoughts. Your purpose is the homeland. Okay? Your purpose is the homeland. Every country has immigration laws. Think about that with your brain. With all those thoughts, there's got to be immigration laws, borders, security checkpoints, a protected culture. Why? Because unchecked access destroys identity. Unchecked access destroys identity. Look at some of the relationships that you've probably witnessed people get involved in throughout your lifetime. And they're one way, and then when they get involved with this person, they become a different person and not better. I'm not speaking about the better in this point of conversation. Sometimes you don't even recognize them anymore. It's like, what happened? You lost your identity because you gave up unchecked access to that means, to that person, to that situation. And now it has destroyed your identity. Your loved ones, your closest loved ones don't even recognize you anymore because you gave unchecked access. And that's what we do often with our thoughts. Your mind is no different. The filter is the boundary that protects clarity. So if you draw a boundary line now around your country, around your people, your stick visitors, and you have like the homeland written on the top of the page, and you draw that boundary, the boundary should have clarity in it, purpose in it, peace, dignity, and God-given assignments. Your mind is no different. The filter is the boundary that protects your clarity, your purpose, your peace, your dignity, and your God-given assignments. Without a filter, anything can occupy mental land that was meant for kingdom construction. Not every thought is telling the truth. Thoughts are data, not directives. How many can confess tonight that my thoughts and my feelings have really become directives? They were directives in my life, and now I'm understanding they're data. And data needs application. Data needs coding. It needs to know where to go. What it needs to be programmed on what it is to do. What's its purpose? How does it operate? It needs to be given command. Without a filter, anything can occupy your mental land, your mental space that was meant for kingdom construction. Because not every thought is telling the truth, Thoughts are data, not directives. And not every thought deserves your belief. Not every thought deserves your energy. Not every thought deserves your focus. Not every thought deserves your conversation. And not every thought deserves an emotional response. Authority asks one question: does this thought align with who I am becoming? I almost got set up today. I said I wasn't going to talk about it on here tonight, but I almost got set up today. Almost. I knew when that call came through, it was going to be drama. Almost. Tell somebody, almost. But I had to protect the country. And I had to make sure that the thoughts that came after the phone call had boundaries. Because the phone call lasted so long, but the conversation after the phone call could have lasted for hours or even days. Anybody with me on that one? You ever hear some information or somebody brings you some drama or, especially the family stuff. Lord have mercy, Jesus, God save the family. And the phone call maybe 5 minutes or 40 minutes if you give up that much time. But the emotion bandwidth that you have, the emotions that come in from that conversation, no matter how long it lasted, can last for days. Some might even say months. And it's like, I hung up that phone 2 weeks ago. Why is it still on my mind? I had to check myself. And I had to tell myself, this thought does not deserve my belief. I don't care what they have to say about me. Guess what I'm doing? God, and then me. Who am I helping? Who are you helping? Not every thought deserves energy. It got a little bit of my energy. That was the purpose of it. I don't think it stole my focus, but it did get my attention. It didn't deserve conversation, and I think I handled myself very well. I think externally in the conversation, I am pleased with, but it was the internal conversation when I hung up the phone. You know those meetings you have with yourself, and you like, man, I'm gonna. Whew. But I had to stand in authority. And when you stand in authority, you have to ask yourself that one question, not the person bringing you the drama, not the person telling you all the nonsense. What you have to do is ask yourself one question. Suzanne, they have a right to think and feel and to say about you whatever they want, even if it's lies, even if it's hurtful, and no, we shouldn't say hurtful things about people, but people have a right to do those types of things. So now put your boundary down and ask yourself this question. Does this thought that I'm now having after what I heard being said about me, does this thought align with who I am becoming? Get out of my country. Go back to your homeland. I'm doing God and I'm doing me. And you should continue doing whatever it is that makes you happy. But it was hard because I wanted to get up the phone. I had some words, some choice words, some good words too. For what? To get my energy? To do what? And then the next step is, if it's not aligning with who Suzanne is becoming, say your name there, write your name in that place, it is not allowed to stay. I felt my physical energy begin to drop. And I'm like, I was so amped up today. What happened? And I had to go back and say, oh, that's what's going on. So I automatically felt the filters come in. And when I get those filters, the overwhelmed thinking comes in, and then it starts to hit me in my physical. Anybody else know about that? Thank you, Crystal. She said, you win. Yeah, Carmen Crespo. Yep. So there's 5 filters of cognitive discernment. You can use one of these and win. Some days it's really bad. You may have to go down the list. Train your mind to evaluate everything incoming with every incoming thought through these filters. Number one, the truth filter. I've used it for years. I still have it on my shelf. Anya made it for me when she was my co-producer here when we started Soul Detox 10 seasons ago. And I used to do this with clients. I had a mug and Anya had those made. Truth or trash? Truth or trash? And I would have them write the thought out or write the conversation out. Now, does it go in the truth or the trash? And they would literally put it in there. So I'm like, oh, you garbage dumping today. No, I'm not garbage dumping. I just want to, this was bothering me. But we talked about this last session. I let you talk it fully out. We've got some sense about it. You cried about it. I thought you said we were healed and we threw it in the trash. And now this week you bring it back up. So now you're dumpster diving. You're going back in the trash can of your own mind. For what? What is back there for you? So we have to use a truth filter. Is it true? Or is it fear dressed up as fact? Is it true? For me, I wouldn't say mine today was fear dressed up as fact. I would say it was, what is the word? I have to think of that word. I have to really think what that was. It wasn't fear. This one didn't come to bring fear. This one came to take my energy. It came to take my focus. It came to get me distracted by what people are saying that has nothing to do with what I'm actually doing in my life, how I'm living, how I'm going forward. And it's not my problem. And it's not in a cold, harsh way. Are y'all with me? Am I all right tonight? Am I making sense? For a truth filter, fear often uses confident language with zero evidence. Confident language with zero evidence. So use your truth filter. Is this true? Or did this bring fear? Did this bring condemnation? Did this bring old memories? What did this do to you? But it wasn't fact. And you could not see or balance that it was truth or trash. You couldn't balance whether it was truth or fact, because usually these things will come wrapped up in somebody who you love. And they come to set you up. So you have to separate the emotional tie, the emotional connection, and deal with yourself. This is not fact. What is fact is the fact that it hurts that people you love say things or do things about you, or they say things that are not true about you. So it's not true. That's it. And then sometimes you may have to remind yourself. That's why I said some of these, if you can make them in some nice picture frames. Ebony, if you could write that down, I want to try to make some things up for the desk. And I know Pastor Lydia has made some nice things up that she's put up on her desk and her wall so that we can look out these all year long and maybe have them in layers. Have these 5 filters in layers and have them kind of color coded. And what's the first level we're going to deal with? Is it true? And let's just use this one so that we can get to level filter 2. What if what they said was true? Does that make it hurt worse? What if what they said was true? What if it didn't have a dress on? What if it wasn't dressed in anything? What they said was the truth. And now you're stung. It's hurting you now because you thought you were forgiven, or God has already forgiven you, or you're not that person anymore, or you just didn't apologize. Whatever. Just say it was true. So we need to have another color for the next step. What do we do if it is true? Now we go to the purpose filter. Purpose filter. The purpose filter says, does this thought help me complete what matters? And usually right there, it is absolutely not. Absolutely not. It's true. I did it. I'm guilty. I'll apologize now, or I'll ask God for forgiveness and I move on. You cannot stay stuck because something is true. You move to the second stage of the filter, the purpose filter. Does this thought help me complete what matters? If not, restrict the asset. access. Take a moment, pray, repent, ask forgiveness, pray for them. If it's lies, pray for those that lie about you. Pray for those that defame your name and your character. Take that moment of a truth filter and pray for them. And then work your way to the next level filter of the purpose and say, now I've got to restrict access. This is it. Access has got to be restricted. Because distraction is anything that pulls you away from what God assigned for you today. I almost let go. Come on. Ebony, sing it for me. Am I doing all right? Are y'all with me? Yeah. Let's just use the term sometimes. It may be true. We're not God. We're not even little gods. I don't care what people try to say. I'm a God in my own right. You ain't no God. If you are God, we are all in godly trouble. Nothing about you with God. I don't care what your religion tells you. We're not gods. We're a royal priesthood. We're not gods, and we're not queens. Sorry, queens. Can't stand that term. Distraction is anything that pulls you away from what God assigned to you today. That's probably what it was about. That's probably why that arrow was even sent. So, guess what? It was truth. It hit your purpose filter now, and you're still struggling. You cannot get past the fact that what they said was true. It hurt you. Now it's affecting your purpose, and it's affecting what God assigned for you today. So what do you do next? You go to your next level. You go to filter number 3, which is peace. Peace. Does this thought create safety or chaos inside of me? Shall we continue? Shall we continue? It's true. I did it. It's affected my purpose. It's pulled me completely away from what my plans and my goals were today. You got me. You won. You got my attention. You're robbing and stealing and killing, destroying my purpose. But now I've got to really be real with myself. After I admit all of that, as David said, it's me, oh Lord, standing in the need of prayer. It's not anybody else that's here before you. It's me, God. Does this thought create safety or chaos? It creates chaos. Whether you did it or you didn't do it, it's creating chaos. So now it cannot remain. Period. If peace leaves, authority enters. Come on. My. And then you're back on track now. You're getting your work done, but you're kind of on autopilot because what they said hurt you. It stung. So now you're going to say, well, what's next? Because I still feel this residual of that painful conversation. Well, let's look at the identity filter. And these should all be color coded, I suggest. Does this thought match who God says I am? Somebody say, mic drop. Does it match you? Because God thinks more of us than we think of ourselves. And some of us think we some bad mamma jammas. And God still thinks more of us than that. Oh my God, I feel the preaching coming back on tonight. Jesus. If the thought, somebody say if the thought reduces you, it is a lie. Dismiss it with confidence. Why you act like you forgot about that? Why you act like it's no big deal? Why? Whatever. You know why? Because I repented to God, I apologize, or I've ended the conversation. It's attacking my peace. It is attacking my purpose that I have planned for the day. And now it's reducing me to a lie. And I have to dismiss it. And I have a right to dismiss it in confidence. If the thought reduces you, it is a lie. And then number 5 is the fruit filter. If I agree with this thought, what will it produce? So you made it all the way to level 5, filter 5, because you know why? In this particular conversation, you were guilty. So you couldn't kill it with the truth filter. So it kept worming its way and worming its way all the way till it got to filter 5. And this is why you made it to filter 5, because you agreed with the thought. Now you need to ask yourself, what is it going to produce? Because even thorns produce, bad things produce. The Bible says that we reproduce after our own kind. That's genetics. That's how we reproduce these unhealthy situations, addictions, and high blood pressures, and all these things in our biology, because we reproduce after our own kind. So if you leave that thought there, it's going to do what? What is it going to do? It's going to begin to reproduce after its own kind. That's Bible. I believe it's Genesis. Fear produces hesitation. You hear that? So when you're hesitating, say, is there fear somewhere? I don't feel fearful. Well, maybe I just need to go and make myself safe because I'm not aware of what it is that's making me feel unsafe right now. Shame produces avoidance. You avoid things and people when you're dealing with shame. Truth produces action. See the difference? Fear produces hesitation. Truth produces action. Shame produces avoidance. Calling produces courage. Every thought is a seed. That's Bible. It's not just science. Every thought is a seed. What will grow? What will grow? It's going to reproduce, and it's going to reproduce after its own kind. A negative thought will never produce a positive thought, and a positive thought will never produce a negative thought, because it's going to reproduce after its own kind. A lemon is not going to produce an orange. An apple is not going to produce a plum. It's going to reproduce after its own kind. So if that doesn't give you some fire and some urgency to start casting down these high imaginations, these negative thoughts, and start putting up boundaries on what it is you're going to allow yourself to think, how long it gets to stay there. How many levels of this filter system does it have to go in? Because spiritual war is a mental war. We battle not against flesh and blood. A spiritual war is a mental war. It's that also. The enemy does not need to destroy your life. If he can distract your focus, he'll settle for that, because you will end up destroying your life. And then he won't have to deal with God saying you destroyed something that I made, something. He said, I didn't do it. I just took their focus. They destroyed their lives. They hurt other people. I didn't do it. They did it. The humans you created, the ones the angels asked him, why are you so mindful of them? They barely listen to you. They won't worship you. They try other gods. Who is man that you are so mindful of them? Satan says, I'm not going to destroy them. I won't touch their life. Isn't that what he did? He did that to Job. I didn't touch him. I just redirected his focus. All the enemy needs is a fearful imagination, a shameful conclusion, a self-sabotaging belief, one intrusive what if, and one not good enough voice. And then the rest, destiny is delayed without a demon in sight. That right there, in my opinion, what I just read is a battle plan for spiritual warfare of a what do we call it when it's in the mind? Not the mind trafficking, psychological warfare. I just gave a battle plan for psychological warfare, which is a part of spiritual warfare. That was some good stuff. Your destiny is delayed without a demon in sight. So how do you fight that one? Because discernment isn't just spiritual, discernment is cognitive. You must know which voice is God. This needs to be done in our prophetic training. You must know which voice is God, which voice is trauma, and which voice is insecurity trying to protect you from the future. That word that you just gave me, did that come from trauma? Did that come from insecurity, or was that God? And how do you know? The mind obeys what you allow. You are the gatekeeper. Come on, gatekeepers. Thank you, Ariana. Your mind is the gatekeeper. Come on, gatekeepers. What are you allowing in? What are you blocking from coming in? You are the gatekeeper. Every thought must show ID. Every thought must show ID. And here are some questions that we ask that needs to be on that ID. Who sent you? What do you want? Why are you here? And what will happen if I believe you? And you know what? That's what I'm going to pray in my prayer tonight before I go to sleep regarding an earlier conversation that I had. I'm going to ask the Spirit of the living God to reveal to me who sent it, what did it want, why did it come, and I don't even care what will happen if I believe it, because I'm not. I'm good. I fought. If the thought cannot pass the filter, it does not pass the gate. Come on, gatekeepers, are you listening? This is not repression. This is stewardship. It does not pass the gate. You get to decide what stays. You. Your mind obeys leadership. Your focus obeys filters, and your future obeys decisions. That sounds like reaping and sowing. That's reaping and sowing right here. Your future obeys decisions. So the decisions that you make today affect your future. So what I sow today in decisions, I'm going to reap in my future. Because my future obeys my decisions. And I don't make the decisions in my future that affect that future. The decisions I make in my future reflect its future. So the decisions I make today affect the future. What are you doing about it? You can no longer take in every thought that knocks. You no longer entertain every mental scenario. You no longer explore every emotional impulse. You choose. Focus first. You choose. This is how you choose. When you choose, this is the effects of it. Stress becomes strategy when you choose. When you choose, that stress is going to become a strategy. Pressure instead becomes direction. Chaos becomes clarity. Noise becomes silence inside. And the future becomes visible again. You are not ignoring reality. You are protecting destiny. Y'all are good. We're in here on a Friday night. Looks like it's just about 80 of us. Doing good tonight, y'all. You are not ignoring reality. You are protecting your destiny. I see what's going on. I see. It has my attention. I can see it in my peripheral. So because I can see it in my peripheral, it has my attention, but I'm not losing focus. Because if I lose focus, it's going to affect the decision I make, and the decision is going to affect my future. I see it, but I'm protecting my identity. Every time we filter a thought, we reinforce our identity. I am someone who knows what matters, the top of 117. I am someone who chooses what stays. I am someone who guards the gates of my mind. Only aligned thoughts have access. Only supportive thoughts have residence. Only fruitful thoughts have influence. You are building a focused mind, and it starts with what you allow in. Let's see how we doing here. Oh, okay, we're doing pretty good. So we have the chapter 11 reflection exercises, training your brain to discern what matters. I want you to take some time tomorrow. It's Saturday, please. While you have you after your water, when you get your orange juice or your coffee or your teas, think over this past week and list 5 reoccurring thoughts that interrupt your focus. Can you think of any now? 5 reoccurring thoughts that interrupt your focus. Let's take a moment. Let's write 1 or 2 down now. Okay. Which of these thoughts feels the loudest and most urgent? Oh, man. Why does it feel urgent? I think because it bothers me the most. Is it bringing fear, shame, pressure, habit, past trauma, anxiety, past trauma, anxiety, people pleasing, identity doubt? Check the ID, thought filter practice. Pick one intrusive thought and then evaluate it through the 5 filters. I'm going to let you do that on your own this weekend. Even if you don't get it done tomorrow, try to do it the latest on Sunday, but please do it because I'm trying to take you through the practical application of what I teach in each chapter by taking you through these exercises. I like the gatekeeper script, which is on page 118. It's section 3. In this season, my mind is reserved for my future. Anything else will be turned away at the door. In this season, my mind is reserved for peace. Anything else will be turned away at the door. In this season, my mind is reserved for what? What is yours? And anything else you are willing to turn away at the door. What is it? And say it aloud daily or weekly. And it's important. You will be so surprised how our senses work. To even hear you speak this, your mind believes it. This is why affirmations is so important because your mind takes it as commands. Someone didn't make up affirmations just to make us say these silly little things in the mirror or, while we're getting dressed or driving in the car. Someone didn't create that just for ha-has or to write a great book. They created it because you are commanding your mind. And when you speak these things, that's why when you speak, another day, another dollar in debt. Oh, 1 step forward, 5 steps back. Oh, every time something good happens, something bad happens. Your mind takes that as a command, and your mind begins to make it happen. Self-fulfilling prophecy. Speak your affirmations, and watch your mind take it as a command. Let me give you a quick hijack. Remember, I've been teaching in every chapter that your mind is only job is to protect you. Your brain only job is to protect you, is to cause you to survive. Your brain's job is survival. If you tell your brain these affirmations, your brain's going to take that in as information for survival. And it's going to make sure that you fulfill these affirmations because it is a part of your survival plan. But your brain doesn't know it because you're not speaking it as a command to your brain. You got noise sorting work. That's step 4 I want you to go through. And then the purpose mini filter mission, step 5. And then your fruit projection exercises. And then we'll end with this affirmation for this Friday night. Tomorrow night, God willing, we will have a members only session after our regular session tomorrow. So be prepared, have your jammies on, and let's spend some time together after the live. And so we'll end this with teaching tonight how to command your mind. So we're going to work this together on page 119, step 7, gatekeeper declaration. And then I'm done for tonight. How are you? Did I do well as a teacher tonight? You doing okay? I'm glad you are here. Okay, good, Jess. Jess, I think you got it. You have to stop speaking the negative because your mind takes it as a command. And when you tell the command center these negative things, it adds it in as data to your survival plan. And that's how you end up repeating, reproducing those things that you don't want. Because you're speaking those things as though they are. Does that make a little more sense? I took you in the word. You're speaking negative things as though they are. What is that being described of? Faith. You don't want to speak the negative things. Catch yourself. Try hard. You'll do well. After a while, it will seem like a cuss word to you. You'll catch yourself. All right, ready? On the count of 3. 1, 2, 3. Only aligned thoughts have access. Only fruitful thoughts have influence. My mind is kingdom territory, and I guard what enters. Let's breathe. And let that feel true for you. Build your survival plan. Speak those positive affirmations, those Bible scriptures to yourself as commands to yourself. I will be well. I shall live and not die. I shall have great victory. God has taught my hands how to do war. Just find those scriptures and speak them as commands to you. Your mind will remember them as commands, and it will speak those things to you to survive. Instead of those things, you're no good. Nobody loves you. Question your self-worth. You don't have self-esteem. It's going to bring you all of that stuff because that's the data that you put in place. Let's start entering in better data into our command system. Amen. God bless you. I pray that I've been a blessing to you tonight. If I have, please take time to sow for this work that we're doing. We're really grateful for you. We have some wonderful things planned throughout the remaining of this year after these 30 days to help you remain focused. This session of Own Your Focus has been a joy to be with you as every other night. I'm grateful for this time in your homes and in your lives and those that you're sharing it with, and maybe those that are sitting in the room with you, listening in. We're grateful for you too. I want to say this to you, and I want to decree and declare it as a prayer over your life. I wish above all things that you prosper and be in good health, even as your soul prospers. God bless you and good night.